Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Masochists Marathon. So we started the episode off clearing that one little worm that had got away from the live stream. This is episode 33. I'm not counting the live stream as technically as an episode, but because it was just biter clearing, I'm not going to name live streams that. Anyway, enough about that. More of that later, I guess. Anyway, we start the episode off laying out a load of radars from the clearing because there was a few areas I couldn't see, and I want to make sure our front line holds, and we want to be able to keep an eye on it. So we start off sticking in a couple of radars up in the northwest bit. But you can see in this episode the lovely clear area we've created in that live stream. It was quite good fun. Very long live stream. I can't remember how long it was exactly. But yeah, we've cleared a huge amount of real estate, which we get to use this episode. And yeah, a lot of turrets now within the area that I don't really need. I do leave a lot of them in, just in case those defenses do get breached, but ones down here, they're not going to get reached. Well, they would get reached eventually, but I'm sure I would plug the breach well before they get that far. So this episode, we need to look where advanced circuits are going to go, and I really couldn't decide. We've got all this real estate to use, and I need to work out all the materials it's going to use, but I need to think of the future. This is probably going to be our sole advanced circuits production area in the future, so it needs to be massive. It needs a lot of space. I did notice a little bit of a gap here, or a potential gap, so we do put some extra turrets in. But while we do a little bit of this admin work, or past me does a little bit of admin work, it gives me a chance to apologize really for the lack of videos lately. I've been a bit disappointed with myself about how long it's been since an episode's gone out. I don't even know how long it is. It may even be encroaching 2 weeks, the longest I've not done an episode. But basically, I've been away at a festival. I've kind of had a bit of holiday, and it took a lot of preparation. I won't go into too much about the festival itself or anything like that. Just consumed lots and lots of stuff. But yeah, it was very good. I just had to get a lot of stuff ready beforehand. The week before the weekend, I was away before the festival to get something ready. I actually went on a boat, and that took a very long time to get there. And yeah, weekends are where I get most of my episode recording and editing done. So yeah, apologies about that, but now I'm back. I've been back to work today. I got back home late last night, back to work today. Classic Monday blues, but on a Tuesday. But I'm going to make a concerted effort to get back onto the series and get ahead of things. Now we're starting to get in an interesting part of the game. So one thing I realized I needed to get on with before we start doing advanced circuits was the lack of production science coming through, and that was the lack of stone smelting, actually, which is quite a new thing for vanilla. That never used to occur, and it's because our little stone deposit we've been mining for ages has finally depleted. So I need to sort that out. There is a lot of stone in the logistics system, so I start off by just covering the rest of the patch with miners and putting in a couple of requested chests to bring the stone in. But I will actually need to create a stone depot soon, or at least a stone outpost. We'll probably get the bots to unload it now. We've got plenty of power and plenty of bots. There's no point creating a whole depot just for stone. But yeah, if you're not getting any at all, you're not going to do any productivity science. I always get productivity and production mixed up. I can't remember what it is now, especially after not playing for over 2 weeks. I'm not going to try and beat myself up about that too much. Anyway, we come to Iron 7 because I found I had 24 stack inserters on me, and I thought that's where they were supposed to go. And then I think they were for another depot I took out. So don't know where they're going to go yet. We'll work it out later on. There's also a base up here I wanted to come and clear out, so we get that done. Just getting a load of stuff cleared out of the way so we can work on the advanced circuits outpost and not need to worry about it. Another thing that needs sorting out is the very small amount of iron getting through to electronics 1. Very soon this is going to start needing ores being brought in by train, or I may even get it smelted remotely, get this area completely rebuilt, because this does need to be a lot bigger. We're still getting gaps in our deliveries of electronic circuits, so believe it or not, this area is still not big enough. It's pretty big already, but if I get the smelting done remotely, it'll make this area a bit more size efficient. It doesn't mean we have to have all the smelting here. We can put that at the outposts. So we get a couple of extra lines added in just for these end ones. I just kind of shuffle them all along a bit and just get them hooked in. So the throughput's not necessarily the best, but it does mean eventually it's all going to get through to this area. We just want to get it all mined basically so we can expand this area, bring the ores in or smelted plates remotely, and just increase our productivity of electronic circuits. I don't really want to have this area feeding the advanced circuits area. Advanced circuits is going to have its own electronic circuits production done in this area, so this area is going to end up being pretty big, but hopefully this area is big enough to create enough advanced circuits for all our science and everything, and as well for our processing units. Another little debate there I had with my brother recently about how I pronounce processing and processing, because of course over here we pronounce it differently, but you know, I just guess I've got into the habit of just watching so many other people play it, and I just call them processing, and that's just what's going to come out. Just struggling with names in general for the blue circuits, although I'm dying to call them purple. Anyway, enough about pronunciation, because that's not what the game is about. It's about productivity. But yeah, don't know why I'm talking like that. Anyway, we come and stick in a load of oil derricks. I don't make enough to cover the whole thing, but to be honest, we really don't need this many just yet. This crude oil here is going to be 100% petroleum for the plastic. So I'm just going to try and get the area running to begin with. I'm probably not going to like the layout for the first time. I think that's extremely likely. Actually, it's going to take a few builds to get it just right. But we get that all laid out. So we've got some crude oil coming through. Next up is the advanced refining. So I'm going for or roughly going for the right ratio. At least I hope it's the right ratio of 8 refineries. Is it 7 light, 1 heavy cracking? I think I looked it up just before the recording. I'm not sure if I got it exactly right. The only problem with this area was there was no water nearby. No issues there. But it took me a while to decide between this set of crude patches or the one just south of us right next to some coal. And of course that would have been ideal because plastic uses coal. For some reason I went for this one. I think it's because it had way more crude in it. The crude's not going to be able to move that much, whereas the coal can be... once it's finished mining, we can bring that in by train. So we're going to use the patch you can see on the mini-map right now, just south-west of us. And I realise the throughput of this pipe isn't enough for all of these derricks, but eventually once they're depleted, it's not going to really matter, but I get a second input anyway. But it's going to be a very long time until we're actually using all of this crude. That's not really going to be the problem. But I want to try and spread this area out quite nicely so we can expand each section as much as we need. I haven't really worked out ratios of how much oil cracking, how much electronic circuits, etc., we need for advanced circuits. I'm just going to wing it really. I've literally come back from work and immediately started recording this episode. I've not really planned the advanced circuits area very well. But, you know, we can always rebuild it, just like Electronics 1. It's going to get rebuilt, and each version is hopefully going to be better and better. So we have to come back to the factory to collect a load of iron because I completely underestimated how much iron you need for underground pipes with the expensive recipes enabled. So while past me lays out this wonderful design that everyone's come to love and cherish, I might as well talk about the episode in general in terms of editing and recording. So it's at 4.5 times speed or 4.6 times speed. I basically just played for about an hour and a half and just put the speed at roughly the right speed for it to be about 20 minutes. I'm not trying to avoid talking about this absolute horrible mistake past me made. What an idiot. I guess his excuse would be he hasn't played for 2 weeks. But yeah, that was a bit of a derp. I did have a bit of a problem this episode though with my inventory. I should have cleared it out at the start. I know Viper's probably kicking me for it, but there's a lot of stuff in my inventory. I don't really need this episode. I just never bothered to sort it out, and it probably would have made it a lot better, and I probably would have had to make less trips to go and get all the stuff I need. But I just didn't. I just got straight into the episode, and I struggled quite a bit with not having enough space, as you can see there. I did leave some wood in boxes in certain places. I did try and empty out some stuff. I've got a stupid amount of turrets on me at the moment for the bite slaying, so I could have got rid of a load of those earlier. I do get rid of them at some point. But anyway, we get all our cracking done. We've now got a fair amount of petroleum production on the go. Next up for plastics, we're going to need some coal, and this is the patch we're going to use. It does seem a bit far away at the moment, but we've got plenty of room, and once this coal patch is gone, we don't necessarily have to be carrying it this far. We can just put the depot in a lovely position. I don't see the point in piling up plastics in a train and transporting it anywhere, because advanced circuits is the only place it's used, I'm pretty sure, apart from stuff like explosives and stuff like that. But I'm probably going to get that made in the factory, because I don't think I'm going to need outposts specifically made just for explosive production, although when I do get to that stage, I am going to want to blow up a hell of a lot of biters, but hopefully that's going to be in the form of nukes, which I'm guessing do use explosives. I don't know, I've not ever done it. It's going to be in this series. My first nuke will be in this series, and hopefully it's not actually going to be too far away. I think I'm going to start a plan soon for beelining to the atomic bomb. We're obviously going to have to streamline our science a lot to get that, because it's going to take a lot of research. Talking of research, we have finally finished that worker robot speed, so our worker robots are going to be even better and better. Yeah, I don't know what science I'm going to be focusing on soon. That's something I'll have a look at. But at the moment, mining productivity is going to be very valuable with the amount of mining we're going to be doing at the moment, and the amount of mining we're going to increase to as well. So these are going to be my copper patches for the advanced circuits and the electronic circuits for the advanced circuits. We're going to get it all done here. Not quite sure what I'm going to do about those uranium patches there, because when the miners do eventually get placed, they go to the uranium style ones. I don't know if that'll just mine the copper anyway. I don't know what the deal is there. If anyone's encountered that, I haven't done it yet. I might go do a test just to find out, because I'm incredibly curious sometimes about these things. So I come and steal the miners from the electronics 1 area. I left them earlier just simply because how many I already had and how full my inventory was. But yeah, there's quite a few here. I do really need to get the deconstruction. I can't auto deconstruct, that's what it was called. I just wanted to come and grab a blueprint of the smelting area. Hopefully this is the right ratio for a red belt. I'm pretty sure it is. It's just when I place it later on, I do stare at it for a bit and start to question. I also noticed one of the columns back there isn't completely connected up. I don't know if that was something I did earlier in a previous episode, but I'll need to go and sort that later on, because I'm pretty sure past me doesn't notice it, because he comes and just gets far too carried away with trying to balance these belts when it doesn't actually really matter. We're going to mine all this soon. But yeah, he makes a bit of a cock up of this. It's all his fault. Nothing to do with me. I get to blame him for everything. Anyway, we mess about that for quite a bit, which gives me a chance to talk about another thing I wanted to get out in this episode, was how I'm going to do recording. So this episode, not much editing, because I just simply didn't have the time. I just wanted to get an episode out again, and then I can sort of focus a bit more on a bit more of an edited episode next time. But it's nice to go back to the old classic style of just a straight recording with no cuts from whatsoever, and then just straight into post commentary. But what I want to do, and it was kind of a result of the last live stream. Thank you to everyone that stuck around to the end there. Apologies for anyone who missed it, but I kind of thought about it quite a bit. They said, you know, why don't you do some streaming on Twitch just to give it a go? Obviously, I've only streamed on YouTube so far, but also why not record while doing the live stream and then use that as my footage for the edited videos? And to begin with, I thought that kind of feels like cheating a bit. I'm reusing footage people have already watched. But I kind of thought about it again today, and I realized actually that's a brilliant idea, because those who get to join the live stream get to have some input in how I do stuff, and then I can edit that into the 20-minute episodes, and people who miss the live stream still gets to see what's going on. It gives me stuff to talk about in the episode, because people get to make points about the crappy designs I'm laying out and how I could do it a lot better, and then I get to talk about that and why they're good. And I've realized actually that's probably a really good idea. My only concern with it that I've thought about is video quality. So I won't be able to live stream at the quality that I record this footage at. Usually I record at full 1080p, 60 FPS, but I'm pretty confident my connection and my PC won't be able to both live stream that because of the connection at that quality, and my PC probably won't be able to encode recording that and live streaming it because it's getting a bit old. It's probably going to die in the not too distant future. So it may be a problem with video quality, but I'm going to give that a go and see how that goes. So episodes may be edited down footage from live streams with then fresh post commentary over the top to talk about what happened in the live stream and just generally what's going on anyway, the usual post commentary I do. But it means people get to get involved real time with what I'm doing in the episodes, rather than it just being past me doing the building and then present me doing the post commentary. They get to have an input in that, and then people that miss live stream and don't want to sit there watching me for 2 hours just ramble on about pretty much nothing, get to see a nice condensed episode with some fresh commentary. Yeah, I think it might work quite well, so I appreciate the encouragement to do that. I've just got to get Twitch set up. I haven't had time to do that yet. Actually test streaming on it, and it engages a different audience as well, and I may actually prefer it to streaming on YouTube, but we'll see how it goes and just go from there, really. But the idea can work on both platforms. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, while I've been rambling about that, we've come to try and set up a supply for iron plates for advanced circuits. I don't really want to smelt it on site because there's just not going to be enough space for it, or it's going to be a bit awkward. I might as well do it remotely, and I might as well come and use these little patches here because they're the most immediately available iron that hasn't been tapped yet. So I'll come and sort that out with a bit of a crude balancer, but this should all run fairly well. Don't know if it's going to be enough iron, but I think copper's our shortage at the moment with the ratio of smelters I've actually laid out. We kind of need another column of copper doing, but I'll do that at another point, simply because electronic smelters are so expensive. The amount of advanced circuits they need is pretty crazy, but we'll get that done once the whole thing's all running. And we come and lay out pretty much our first iron plates depot. I kind of get a bit confused as to what to call it, because I can't just call it iron, because I won't be able to differentiate it from iron or outpost. So I end up calling it iron PI or iron P1, sticking with the whole Roman numeral thing. Anyway, I shove this station in here, taking out the least number of trees possible, just to save inventory space, basically. And we get some iron plates smelting, and they don't start loading straight away, but I realise I haven't got the arithmetic combinator laid out, so I have to get that smelted and sorted. And we hop back in file to take that back to the factory to go and build the iron P train. Hopefully someone can come up with a better name for that, or it'll forever just stay as iron P, etc, etc. So we come and grab those engines for 2 new locomotives and 4 new carriages. Don't know how many iron P trains will end up in the future. Maybe we'll have loads. Maybe we'll stop smelting at the factory altogether and just have this as the theme for all our iron outposts, and then we don't have to call them iron P. I don't know. So we get the train up to the station, up to the outpost to collect those iron plates, and I rename the station. Hopefully that's going to be a temporary theme. Anyway, this is where I get a bit carried away and I stare at the smelters wondering if my ratio is correct. But at this time speed, it seems a lot less time pondering. So, don't know when the first Twitch stream is going to be. The first one's probably just going to be a test, to be honest, just to see if I am able to record it all right at a good quality and stream it at the same time, see how that goes. I will put videos up on YouTube to say when I am doing it. I do need to get my Twitch all themed out. I do have a channel already, so if you do want to go follow it, do go and do so. Too many do's. But yeah, it's basically just the same name as my YouTube channel. It's just Tetnusben. But yeah, I need to get all the artwork done. I'm useless at all that kind of stuff, so I need to get on with that. But to be honest, it doesn't really need to look all fancy just for a test. What I'm doing here is just getting this rail laid around the ore post, because this is where I wanted to bring the rail up into the advanced circuits outpost. I didn't really want to bring it up on the northeastern line because there's got a lot of traffic there already, and it's going to get even worse. But yeah, we get this sort of sent round the side of it. One day when this is all finished mining, we can just have the rail going straight. So I just have a little detour there for now, and we sort of bring the rail up roughly to where we want to bring the iron in for electronic circuits. I've got room for another couple of copper columns to the left of that one there, so we've got plenty of copper smelting. Bring that over. It'll need to feed the advanced circuits as well as these electronic circuits, so I kind of get it placed out so it'll all sort of work, but it's going to be a horrible mess to begin with until I lay it out a bit better. I should have really used the space a bit more, but I was kind of rushing at this point because my goal was to get some electronic circuits being produced this episode but sadly we were just shy of that goal. Now, I made a massive derp when I was moving those turrets to get the rail through. I accidentally disconnected the power to this entire line of defenses here, so we have to come and rebuild these turrets here, but luckily these were the only ones I lost, and we come and replace those, and it's all good. There is one over here as well I wanted to rescue, but some pretty panicked driving back there when I realized what had happened past me. I had a right panic and just drove like a mental man, shooting down a load of trees to get in there to fix it. So anyway, apologies for the lack of videos. Hopefully that is a thing of the past and I can get back on it soon, and new recording style soon as well, so see how that live streaming goes. I hope it works, because kind of like the idea. We're going to need to set up a stone outpost because we finished mining that stone over there. We get a nice good look at the map now, getting quite big thanks to that. I think it was about 4 hours, that last live stream session. So yeah, thanks to anyone that joined that. I don't know if the live stream is going to be next episode or the one after. Either way, I'll let you know with a little video. But with all that said and done, that's going to be all we have time for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed, and please do come and join us in the next episode. Bye-bye.